Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Christine on East End. It's the name of my platform and I am Christine. So welcome. I hope that this video will be helpful for you. I will be the host of my show / podcast, and today I'm going to talk about time management. So how to master time blocking for increased productivity. So we all have 24 hours in a day, and we've all had that moment where we felt like we just don't have enough time in our day. But that's not necessarily true. The only difference between the average person and someone who is very wealthy, self-made, or successful is that they spend their time wisely. And we're going to discuss how you can do that too. Whether you're trying to become the next tycoon, CEO, or you just want to live a more productive life, this will be helpful. So first, let's break it down in smaller pieces or time frame. We have 24 hours in a day, so you need 8 hours of sleep, give or take. Everyone can't get 8 hours of sleep. Most of the time I get 7.5, maybe less, but we'll aim for 8 hours. And a lot of times it takes time to really work on your sleep hygiene. Also, we need 8 hours of work. Whether we're working on our business, we're working our secular job, or if you're unemployed, you're maybe working on finding another job. 8 hours is a little bit excessive, maybe 2 hours dedicated to your job search. If you really are up for it and dedicated, then maybe you could do it for 8 hours. Take a lunch break, just like a regular job. And maybe utilize that time to go to different workshops and work on your resume, cover letters, networking. But overall, you need 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of working, and then you need 8 hours of life / recreation. You need to have fun, of course, but you have to divide it like that. And so what I like to do is time block, which a lot of people are catching on to that. I learned about it from Elon Musk. And the way I like to do it, I break it down from the moment that I wake up to the moment that I am going to go to bed. And I like to include the amount of time it's going to take for me to commute from point A to point B, everything that I have to do in between that, how long it's going to take for me to get ready, eat breakfast, eat lunch, dinner, so on. Those little things you have to factor in as well as including quality time that you want to spend with your family, friends. You need to, whatever's important to you. You need to pick a day that works for you, where you can sit down alone or with your partner if you have one, and you guys plan your week out together or day, and just think about everything that is important to you that you need to get done that day, that week, and do what they call a brain dump. Make a massive list of everything that's on your mind, all the tasks that you need to get done, and then look at your entire week. So I like to use a weekly planner like this. I don't know if you can. If not, I'll make sure you guys can see it, or just make a video or a little example showing you guys. So this is a rough example of what I was talking about for you guys. But as you can see in the left column, that is the brain dump, and just like a rough time blocking of your day from the beginning to the end. And you just plug in what's important that you have to get done. And then this is my actual time blocking sheet, how I do it on a weekly basis. And sometimes change it by the day because sometimes those important tasks change. Now back to the main video. But a weekly planner is best, but whatever works for you, you'll figure out what works for you best once you start doing it and you get in the habit of doing it. But like I said, you're going to start from the point of when you wake up down to when you go to bed, what you're going to do, and then start plugging in all those important things that you need to put in and get done. And when I do that, once I started to do that, I started to realize that I do have enough time to get a lot of things done. I just wasn't managing my time wisely. And I'm sure that's true for a lot of you out there. And maybe you have heard of time blocking, maybe you haven't. But it's a great tool to use, and you'll find that you're more productive and happier because you're getting a lot of important things done that you felt like maybe you were never going to get it done and you were feeling overwhelmed. And then it gets easier and easier the more you do it. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you exercise, the stronger you get. And the more you time block and manage your time wisely, it gets easier. And then once you make that list out every week and plug it in on your calendar and on your weekly calendar that you time blocked, it starts to become ingrained in you. You just kind of like start automatically knowing like, oh, I need to be doing this right now. I need to dedicate X amount of time towards this project. So you also want to be realistic about the goals that you would like to attain. Because what also happens, which has happened to me as well, you have these huge goals and you try to attain it and then you fail and then you get overwhelmed or disappointed and you give up. And then you muster up the courage to try again, and you do the same thing over and over until you realize, hey, this is not working. So that's where the SMART method comes in. I'm sure you all have heard of that, but if you haven't, the SMART method is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. So that is a great method to use when you're setting your goals. It's important to make sure it's attainable because, like I said, you'll get overwhelmed and then you'll feel like, oh my God, like I'm never going to meet my goals. And that's discouraging. And we don't want to do that. We want this to be encouraging, positive, and for you to come out better and productive like you are aiming to do. If you're watching this video, you want to be the best version of yourself. And this is going to help you do that. So you need to break those big goals that you have down into smaller goals that will lead to the bigger one. So smaller steps that lead to the bigger picture, the bigger goal that we are working towards. So we also want to, once we determine what we're working on, how much time we're going to dedicate to it, how we're going to break it down into smaller goals, we want to keep ourselves motivated throughout the tasks that we're doing, which, is another thing to overcome. Staying motivated. And to be honest with you, you're not going to always feel motivated or in the mood to do the things that you need to get done. But forming this new habit of time blocking, it helps you build up your discipline to get that done and to keep it going even when you don't feel like it. The key is to start and to keep going and to do it in very small ways. If it feels like it's beginning to be too much, then you need to scale back and make it smaller until you can take on more. So one method that I really like, especially if you're struggling with ADHD or any neurodivergency, any neurodivergency disorder. I think that's the correct term. um, you can just get into a nice workflow where you're focusing for maybe, I would say, 30 minutes if you can, and then take a 15-minute break in between tasks. That's really helpful. And you can change up the variation of the times. You can reverse that or however you'd like to do it, but that's just an example. Working consistently for 30 minutes and then take a break for 15 minutes and get back into it, and then the next thing you know, you've completed the task. You also have to find ways to make it fun. So, you know, play a great playlist of music. Sometimes you can play subliminals if you're into that. I know some people are not, to help you get into the mindset and focus. Also, if you're dealing with neurodivergency, it would also be good to go to a psychiatrist and see what they can do about that. What are your options? If you're open to seeking treatment and taking a medication, that will be very helpful. Also, certain vitamins will help you focus, like ashwagandha and a lot of adaptogens. They can help you stay calm and be able to laser focus on whatever it is that you're trying to get done and stay in a great workflow. And again, this is a journey. You'll figure out what's working, what's not working. Always take note of that. Don't be so hard on yourself about starting over. And then you'll figure out what's really important, what is not essential in the process of whatever you're trying to do, and what is essential. You'll also be able to navigate when maybe you need to turn to an expert or get support. Build your tribe, your village that can help you meet whatever that goal is. See if you can involve others to help you meet that goal or get that task done. And always plan ahead as much as you can. Planning ahead, prepping ahead, time blocking saves you so much time. It buys your time back. And you'll start to realize that when you don't do that, you lose so much time when you don't do that. So definitely try it out. I would love to hear you all's feedback about how that worked out for you. And keep it going. I might put a worksheet at the bottom in my description for you guys to use virtually on your iPad or your phone. If not, I mean, personally for me, I like to write things down. It helps me remember better. Also sitting down and doing my calendar once a month and then plugging in things when I need to if something new comes up. But it helps me remember it more. It's ingrained. But a lot of people use their phone and that works just as well. If I do use my phone, I like the app Google. I believe it's Google Task, Google Calendar. They've made some changes to it. It's not like it used to be. I know some people use certain apps that do something similar, but if you have a Gmail account, like, it's already free. You don't have to download another app and make another purchase, and you know how that can be, racking up a lot of subscriptions. But the Google Calendar, what I like about it is you can time block essentially. You're gonna list your task and all the details you need to involve, and then you just plug it in. And if you have an iPhone or something of that, or just something different than an Android, you can just list it, as you can see, which I'll probably just post this in a video too, like an example so you can see. But that is great too, another tool. A lot of resources out there to help you buy back more time. So I hope that was helpful. And I would love to hear everyone's feedback in the comments below. So thank you. This is my very first video of me starting my journey on YouTube. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.